Avatar: The Way of Water is almost here, but will it be a success like the first film was? What is going on, y'all? My name is Infinite. Today we're going to talk about Avatar: The Way of Water. Will it hit or will it flop? I thought of 5 potential reasons of how The Way of Water could hit or it could flop, but mostly flop, honestly. They are in no particular order, so I'm just going to run through them. First one's going to be the story's originality. How original is the plot? Because if you've seen the first film, then you've seen a lot of other films, mainly Dances with Wolves. It has a lot of cliche plot points. Just by watching the trailer, I can already guess what the movie's gonna be about. And if I'm just making predictions just off of a trailer, just off of the freaking teaser, then yeah, I would be worried. This is my prediction. This corporation that Jake Sully used to work for, they're gonna come back. I mean, we saw them. And now that he's like the leader of the Na'vi, I don't know if he's considered the leader, but pretty much he has a family now. They're gonna come back because he is responsible for the death of military general dude, forgot his name, Stephen Lang. He might have some relative or just somebody that's gonna want revenge for completely getting away from the focus, from throwing away the mission. They're probably seeing Jake Sully right now as the one responsible for why humans on Earth, why they're struggling, because they didn't end up getting the mineral that they were supposed to. They're gonna show up on Pandora and be like, hey, you're the guy. Oh, you have a family now. Whoa, we're gonna kill them too. The only way that this film could save itself is if it's original.
Well, good luck with that.
It cannot have any cliche plot points. It cannot be predictable. It has to be a fresh plot. But in terms of story originality, I think it's leaning more towards a flop. The second reason, the VFX. Wait, how can the VFX be a flop? Well, I'll tell you why. 2009 was a different time. The special effects back then are not what they are now. We have obviously improved. At the time, the special effects were something that we haven't really seen before. It was a breakout. Everybody was going crazy. Now, a lot of people like to say that it started the whole 3D trend because every other movie after that was just being made in 3D, 3D, and 3D. That being said, it might not be as impressive now because every single movie, almost 90% of movies nowadays use special effects, especially Marvel and DC and all these superhero films. So maybe people might not be as impressed.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this movie does look better than all these movies that are using special effects nowadays. But I guess it just depends how picky people are when watching movies. I mean, I'm a picky person. I could tell when it's green screen. I hate it when people use green screen because they never make it look good. But with this movie, yeah, I'm willing to make an exception because it looks great. That could mean we probably are gonna get a more detailed love scene. All right, the next reason is the marketing. How well did this film market itself? Is there a demand for Avatar? Is there a demand for more Avatar films? So we gotta think about it, 2009, 13 years ago, almost 14 now. It was a different time. The movie industry is not what it is now. Now it's all about superhero films.
Yeah, great.
Horror films are also making a comeback with their own different themes, different styles. I think it's just gonna come down to how many faithful fans, how many fans were generated through the first film and how many fans have stayed and just have wanted to have that sequel or sequels. It was a long time ago, man. I was in high school when this movie came out and I made some noodles last night. Where's my life going? Do you feel old yet? But anyway, it could have that nostalgia factor for a lot of folks who were huge fans of the first one. Nostalgia is another thing that's going on with the movie industry, so they could take fully advantage of that. That will give them the upper hand. It's very rare, but some sequels that use nostalgia factors end up being really successful. Take like Top Gun. But on the downside, it might be a little too early for nostalgia because Top Gun was from the 80s. A lot of these movies that are getting made, they're all the 80s. 90s, even 90s, but Avatar was 2009. That was only not even 20 years ago. Speaking of marketing, I gotta do a little marketing myself. Sorry. If you're an Avatar fan or if you know someone who's an Avatar fan, then get them something from this holiday season. The easiest way to do that is through Amazon. So go and check out the links in the description for the latest Avatar merch through Amazon. Now let's get back to the video. The next reason is gonna be the budget, and the budget is obviously something that scared the crap out of James Cameron. He even came out and said, hey, we need $2 billion in order for us to make profit. Let that marinate a bit. And speaking of budget, a lot of people are probably literally on a budget. I mean, because we got inflation, the economy, now that we have streaming, a lot of people have stopped going to the movie theaters, so we need a reason to come back, and this could be it. But hey, not everybody feels that way, so a lot of people just wait a month, maybe even 2 months. They're even willing to wait 3 months for a movie to come out in streaming. But like I said before, it just depends how pumped people are for this movie. Some people are probably gonna be like, okay, ooh, $30 movie ticket for 4DX and IMAX, Dolby Digital, or gifts for the family. Dollar Tree it is.
Oh, hell no!
And James Cameron said himself, all the other rest of the sequels, 3, 4, and 5, they're pretty much depending on this one, because if it's successful, then he's gonna go and push the green light for the rest. But they need $2 billion?
What the hell have you people been smoking out there?
Y'all smoking some good stuff. Last but not least is gonna be the production. As I just said, there are multiple sequels in the works. That means it's gonna take a lot more money. Now, I'm not completely too sure, but I think one of them is also were filmed at the same time. A lot of the writing is done, but there's some that just need some work. But if you look up the release dates, they're pretty much back to back. They're only a couple years apart. The fact that they seem too close together back to back, it might affect the writing, it might affect the production, it might affect the quality. Because sure, they got the special effects down, but since it could be a risk for them to just push these films out, to rush them just because they got to get them out. And also the fact that James Cameron, he was not going to direct all of them. He's going to pass on the mantle to someone that he trusts. I mean, dude's getting too old. Soon he's going to be with the military. But James Cameron, whatever you do, please don't pass the torch to someone who's gonna ruin your franchise. But now I wanna know from you, do you think Avatar: The Way of Water, is it gonna hit or is it gonna flop? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're watching this in the future and you wanna see a spoiler-free review of The Way of Water, that video is gonna be right here.